Alright guys, welcome to today's video. We got one that you guys have been asking for a while. Today we're going to be doing a machine check on my 2005 Drift Mustang GT. So as I said earlier, this is my 2005 Mustang GT drift car. I say drift car like that because this used to be my drift car before I got the 240. Now I wanted to do a machine check for you guys and just bring you guys up to speed on what this car is. With the extra growth in the channel we've had lately, a lot of the people watching now haven't been around since the beginning and don't know about this car. I started this YouTube channel based around building this Mustang. That's really what got me into starting to make videos, was just showing the mods that I do to this car. So we're gonna take a little drive out here, go to a little scenic spot, and I'll introduce you guys properly to this car. Let's do a little pull for the people, why don't we? Little third gear bog. It's a 3-valve at the end of the day. It's not very fast, but it's sporty. It's good speed for a daily, which is what it is. This is my daily. One of the main reasons why I don't modify this car so heavily anymore is it is my daily. I use this car to get to work every day. And I like taking care of it now. I don't want to push my luck with it because this car has given me so many good times. I want to give it a good life. Now that the 240 has stepped in to take the brunt of my mechanical sympathy, or the lack thereof. I'll tell you guys now what the exhaust setup is. The exhaust in this car is stock headers still, a BDK catless X pipe, and Borla S type catback. So almost a full exhaust minus headers. And I think it sounds amazing. This is the third iteration of exhaust setups I've had on this car, and I found the sauce on this one. The catless X pipe, the rasp of the catless X pipe, combined with the rumble and the high note rasp elimination of the Borla S type, it creates a perfect, like, high-pitched scream, but not at an obnoxious level. It's just perfect. Because a lot of 3-valves, when you keep the stock H pipe or you do a catless H pipe on these cars, it's a very deep tone, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's a little too, like, old school American, I don't know if it's old school American muscle. It just sounds like old engine technology. You can tell it's an old motor. But with the X-Pipe, it really, the harmonics of the exhaust flows crossing, the harmonics that it creates, it makes a pretty nice sound. Let's see if we can get back here maybe. This is a pretty cool spot. The sign doesn't say no trespassing, it technically just says no. So I'm gonna say yes, because this looks like a pretty cool spot to film a video. All right, so let's get started with the exterior of this car. The paint is 2005 mineral gray. This car doesn't have too many mods done to it cosmetically. I tried to keep it relatively simple to not like overdo the look. Up front, we have a Pony Delete grille off of American Muscle along with some American Muscle halos. You'll find a theme in this car. Almost everything on this car is from American Muscle. I really went through the catalog on this one. But we have American Muscle, I believe they're Raxium halo fog lights. Here you can see those. And paired with those halo fog lights, we have some clear side markers, which I felt was pretty necessary because the amber side markers really clashed with the white of the halos. So we have some switchback clear turn signals in the front, and along with that we have a set of stock headlights. I used to have Raxium halo headlights and they were a bit ricey in my opinion. So as I've matured, so has the car, and we have returned to stock headlights, which I really think fit the look of the front of the car more. Coming along to the side of the car, we have these, another piece of American Muscle side splitters. I really like these because they make the car look a lot lower, even though it is quite low. It really puts a little finish on the car because the way the rockers are on this car, they curve in and it makes the car not look very low. Adding those splitters there really show the depth of how low the car actually is. For the rear end, I have a Ford GT500 rear bumper. You can tell the difference by this little black strip on the bottom side of the bumper. If it's left ABS black, that means it's a GT500 bumper. If it's painted, that's the California Special bumper. They are both the same unpainted, but it's just the paint schemes which determine the difference. Paired along with a MMD ducktail spoiler, Raxium Vector V2 taillights, and what ties it all together is the fake gas cap delete, which really cleans up the rear end of this car. All right, now moving on to interior. First up, we have a Nardi steering wheel. So a lot of people are surprised to see the Nardi wheel when they see my interior because it's a Mustang after all, and it's not very common to have these types of wheels on Mustangs. But I kept getting letters in the mail about how my OEM steering wheel's airbag was going to randomly explode on me, and they kept telling me, I kept getting these letters saying, get your airbags replaced, remove your airbags, they will explode and they will shoot shrapnel into your face and kill you. And I don't like the idea of that. Instead of taking this to a dealership and waiting months for the recall on the airbag, I just threw an Nardi in because it looks cooler and probably just as safe as having a time bomb waiting to detonate in front of your face. Even though I wouldn't really recommend you guys at home doing aftermarket steering wheels unless you have a proper seat and a proper harness, because they can be more dangerous than your OEM steering wheel. Speaking of a proper seat paired with your steering wheel, I have a Corbeau FX1 Pro. This was also on American Muscle with the Corbeau slider rail. Oh, ducks are coming. A little flyby. I really like this seat, even though some people would call this a rep seat because it's not like a name brand company. I really like how it feels. It's wider than my Bride's, so I have a bit more hip room for my daily, and it keeps me really tight when I'm at the track. And if I'm being honest, I have less back pain with this seat than I had with the OEM GT Premium seat. And a little Easter egg, I threw on some stickers here. For those of you who care what stickers I have on my seat, I have BC Racing, GK Tech, and Juku, LZMFG, Drift HQ, Summit, and Ford Performance. Moving on, neat little thing is this fan wiring switch, which goes straight to my SVT GT500 fans. Keep the car nice and cool. Moving over to this side, I've elected to keep the stock passenger seat for passenger comfort. And we have another favorite piece of mine, my Hurst Competition Plus short throw shifter. Real clunky, real short. I picked this because I love how Hursts look. I'll be honest, it's not the most practical shifter. I miss shifts all the time with this. That could be in part due to the TR3650 that's behind this car, or a combination of both. But I've decided to keep the Hurst because I like how it looks. It's good style. The chrome and the white look cool. Over here, we have the fire extinguisher. I also have my Uniden radar detector up here that I have hardwired, so when I turn the key on, it automatically turns on.
Uniden, X-band, K-band, KA-band, laser.
And the double DIN radio I have. This is a Pioneer. Since this car is a GT Premium, it came with the Shaker 500 audio system, which has the door subs, as well as the rear subs behind the rear seats. And it honestly is a very good OEM audio system.
Don't hurt me again. Don't hurt me again.
Moving on to my favorite feature of this car, and what I've spent the most money on, is the suspension of this car. It is on BC Racing coilovers, which is why it's so low. This thing is damn low. If I'm being honest, the ride height has ruined the drivability, but I don't know, it's not permanent. I'm going through I got to get it out of my system of being obnoxiously low, and then I'll raise it back to a normal ride height. But right now it's max low, and this thing is absurd. This is pretty much the height of the chassis right here. I have about 2 fingers to the ground because if you guys have 3 valves, you know these things are very chassis low. Yeah, look at that. This is even lower than the skirt. So this thing scrapes on every speed bump, but I love it. In the rear end, however, we do have suspension upgrades. As you can maybe see there, we have BMR lower and upper control arms paired with what you may recently seen, our BMR lower control arm relocation brackets, these little red guys down here, which optimize the rear geometry of your Mustang. Oh, we also have a BMR adjustable panhard bar, so this thing's BMR'd out. As far as the front end, we also have some custom suspension work. We have the BC Racing coilovers, a custom hand-tight racing angle kit made by my friend Davey. What the angle kit includes is a extended lower control arm, which pushes the front wheels out. What many of you have noticed creates the camber and poking effect on the front wheels. That's the extended lower control arm pushing the track width out on the bottom. It pushes the knuckle outwards. And to pair with that angle kit, we have Davey's hand-tight racing knuckles, which shorten the tie rod location, creating more steering angle, as well as correcting for Ackerman. So this thing is technically a drift car. I have gone drifting with it, and I have drifted with it a lot, but it's more of a daily now. This guy right here, in my opinion, is the only thing keeping this from being a full-on drift car. The stock handbrake. This thing will not lock up both of the wheels, no matter how hard I try. The stock LSD, along with stock handbrake, just can't do it. Even though we do have some good pads on here. For pads and rotors, we have a set of Power Stop drilled and slotted rotors. On stock calipers, we have Power Stop Track Day pads, which are a very strong pad. They're very good pads. They stop super well, but be warned, they create a lot of brake dust. So much so, they have ruined they have tarnished the finishing coat on my wheels. I've had to wash my wheels so excessively that the finish is fading quite a bit on the wheels, especially without a ceramic coat. Speaking of wheels, these are ESR CS8s, an 18 by 9.5 plus 22 squared. So the front wheels are the same size as the back wheels, with a 235/40 Kenda in the front and a 245/40 Kenda in the rear. Now, as the sun is setting, I hear your questions already. Evan, how is your paint so shiny? Now, this paint is not perfect by any means, but I think I've done a pretty good job at preserving this paint. This car has had multiple ceramic coats and paint corrections done to it. Right now, the ceramic coat that I have on it is G-Technic Crystal Serum Light. And this is my favorite ceramic coat that I have done by far. I've only done 2 different ceramic coats, but this one's my favorite. The paint clarity is really good. Like, look at the pretty dang good reflections. My phone can't even focus. But look at that crisp clarity in the reflections. I really wanted a Grabber Blue Mustang. Grabber Blue was my favorite Ford color when I was first getting into Mustangs. My friend had a Vapor Silver Mustang. I thought it was really cool, and I found this one, which is mineral gray, and I honestly did not like this color at all when I first found it. I thought it was a weird color. I was like, why is it different colors? Like, this car is dark gray when it's overcast. When the sun comes out like this, it almost turns gold because it has so much gold flake. I've come to really love this color. Like, look at the depth of this color. This is OEM 20-year-old paint. Look at that rear fitment. I know a lot of you are gonna ask about the rear height. My rear ride height is lower than you can physically go with coilovers. I'm pretty sure no coilover company, unless it's like some cheap one that's not specifically made for this chassis, will allow you to go this low because it is unfunctional. What I've done is I've taken out the spring perch in the rear, which is a little perch about this big, maybe an inch high. And what it does is it perches the spring on the axle. I've removed that perch and kept the spring in, so it's about a 1-inch drop. It really looks cool, but it does take your shock out of functioning travel. So you have almost no shock travel, but you also do get really cool rear fitment like this, and it levels the chassis really well. A large problem that most people have when building these chassis is the rake. They're always raked forward. They always have positive rake because of the rear axle and the rear suspension geometry. It's hard to make the rear low, but the front wants to go low. So that's how I have solved my rear rake. And I have a bit of negative rake, I think. I have like a couple degrees of negative rake, but I think it looks really cool because it looks more like a drift car. And I like S chassis with negative rake. I may have spoken a bit too soon about the clarity of my paint though. Can you guys see that haziness? That, my friends, is from a cheap paint job. You probably can't tell unless you have a trained eye, but right here is where the OEM paint ends. The front end is OEM. Right here and back has been resprayed because this car was nearly totaled. I got into a crash. I was rear-ended at a red light, and the whole rear end of this car was caved in, and I thought it was the end of this car, but insurance pulled through because of the low miles and the package that this car is. We were able to save it. So this car is still here today because of that. Someone's coming up though, so I might be getting asked to leave. Hey, how you doing?
What are you up to?
I'm taking some photos.
Oh, okay. As long as you're not...
No, I'm not doing anything silly.
No problem.
I'll be out of here in like 5 minutes.
No, don't rush at all. Seriously.
Okay.
As long as you're not running around, we're good to go.
Okay, thanks, man. Oh, he was nice. All right, and so last but not least, we come to the engine bay of this car. Well, it is last and kind of least because this is the least I've done to this car. This is a almost stock engine on this 20-year-old Mustang. All I've done to it is this JLT Series 3 cold air intake. It added maybe 5 to 10 horsepower, but what it really improved was throttle response and snappiness of the throttle. So I do recommend this. This is a pretty good piece. As far as other mods I've done here, it's not very many. I have this strut tower. Oh, my strut tower brace looks like it's on backwards. Yeah, my strut tower brace might be on backwards right now. But yeah, I have this strut tower brace, which also is functional. I do feel quite a bit more stiffness in the front end because of this strut tower brace, so I would recommend it. Makes the front end feel a bit more snappy and sharp and responsive in turn-in, because what's happening is it's a heavy car and it's not a very solid car for that fact. So there's a bit of flex between each tower when you turn in because of the weights being applied. So what this does is it acts like a sway bar for the chassis. It mounts the 2 corners of the towers and it keeps them rigid. So there's not flex between the towers individually. And then the final mod that I've done to my engine bay is my radiator and fan setup. So we have a Mishimoto upgraded radiator. I don't know what size core it is. It did pretty significantly improve coolant temps. Best cooling mod I've done, the SVT fans. This GT500 fan is a significant upgrade from the OEM fan. I think it's about 1,000 more CFM of airflow that it pushes, and it honestly at times has prevented the car from reaching full operating temp because it wants to stay cool so well. So big fan of that. All right guys, and that is going to pretty much wrap it up for my machine check. I can't think of anything that I'm missing. Oh, here I am. My Plasti Dip mod, the only Plasti Dip I have on the car, the GT emblems. I got this from Four Eyes, which is another Mustang YouTuber. He was a big inspiration for the build of this car, as I'm sure you guys can tell. Here's one gripe I have with this seat. It is kind of hard to get your seat belt unless you put it on here properly. Because what always happens is it goes back here, and you got to be fishing for your seat belt. There you go. It's the only gripe I have with this seat, and it doesn't recline, but non-reclining seats are cool. All right guys, but I think that is going to conclude my machine check of my 05 Mustang GT. Let me know what you guys think. If you've been around since I first started documenting the build of this car, back when it was a bone stock, let me know in the comments. If you're new around here, let me know too. I appreciate all the new viewers, and I hope this brings you up more to speed with the main car of the channel, the car that started it all. Let's do a little bit of spirited driving and head home. Man, this sun is brutal. A little bit of off-roading through this sand pit. All right, I'll put his fence back so other people listen to the warning to know. There we go. Just as it was. Damn, this thing looks so good. Oh, I forgot a mod. I got these for free from Stang lights. I won them in a giveaway. They're LED side markers, smoked LED side markers. I love those. The coilovers on this car. If you guys have a 3-valve, get coilovers. That's by far my favorite mod. Alignment is a little wonky because it's set up for drift a little too much. Could use an alignment adjustment to get rid of this twitchiness, but the turn-in is really good. Look at the turn-in. Barely move the wheel, and the front end, ooh, cows. With small front end inputs, the front end steers very nicely. So even with the excessive camber and the alignment that's not dedicated to grip driving or smooth driving, it does feel pretty nice. Is it a burnout in front of the Tesla behind me? The Tesla's on my ass. I wonder if it's gonna spin. It's pretty cool though. This wouldn't be an Evan Daily video if we didn't go do at least one donut, would it? No way, was my camera not recording? I think my camera wasn't recording. My GoPro wasn't recording. Alright, there we go. Now we got it on GoPro. Ah. Alright, we're out of here. That's gonna do it for today's video. I thank you all for your time if you stayed till the end. If you have any suggestions on videos you do want to see, comment down below. Let me know. I read every single comment. I have literally read every single comment that's been commented on my YouTube channel since I've posted my first video. So if you have anything you want to say, let me know. It's a community. I really enjoy being a community with all you guys and responding to comments and reading your guys' comments. So if you have anything you want to see with this car or the 240 in the garage, let me know. And I'll see you later. Bye. Make sure to subscribe if you like this content, because I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers. And if you're my 10,000th subscriber, I will fly you out, and I will give, if you are my 10,000th subscriber, because I can check, I will give each and every one of you